Hello everyone, and first off I apologise for the quality of the video, or the focus on the video. It's very difficult for me to tell on my phone's screen when I'm recording that it's actually in focus. It does get better later on in the video. First thing to do is to take off all the covers on the underside of the machine, and take out the battery as well, because there's four screws underneath that you need to undo. Each of the screws on the underside are different lengths, so it's a very good idea to note down where they were, or you'll see in my video that I lay out the screws in the positions that they were in the machine, so I know where they go. There's several screws, at least 3 screws, which are underneath the covers we've just removed, so at the front of the machine, in front of the RAM, and next to where the SSD or the hard disk is. Then there are the ones which you can already see around the rest of the edge of the machine. And again, 2 screws or possibly 1 screw underneath the battery cover, and not in addition there are the 4 screws underneath the battery. I found it a good idea to remove the SSD because it isn't held in with anything, so if you flip the machine over it will just be stressing the SSD, the SATA connector. Then 4 screws underneath the battery. There's some to the left of that compartment which seem to hold in the SIM tray if you have the model which has the mobile broadband ability. Those ones don't need to be unscrewed, it's just those 4 small screws underneath the battery which are in a square or a rectangle layout. And now it should just the underside cover should just come off the machine. That's it, that's the cover off. So to get to the keyboard, or to be able to undo the keyboard, there are 2 ribbon connectors. There's one which the ribbon's normally jammed underneath the heat pipe, just undo that. The connector has a little flippy bit which is on the side where the ribbon cable plugs in, and then you flip that upwards gently and it should release the cable. The next cable is held down with a bit of tape, which is in between that last connector you just undid and the trackpad connector. So remove the bit of tape. And store it somewhere useful for later. Then the ribbon cable, this time the little hinge bit to release the cable is on the side which isn't facing the ribbon cable, so you undo it on the opposite side to the previous ribbon cable. Then there are 2 screws which you also need to undo inside the bottom bit of the case, which is the one next to the cooling fan and the one next to the hard disk caddy. And now you are ready to pry the keyboard out. And a bit like the Lenovo laptop I did recently, this one also doesn't feel like it's designed to be taken out. So basically between the red trim and the keyboard you need to put something which isn't going to scratch it, basically under and hook it out from underneath it. Then basically work your way along the bottom of the keyboard. Anyway, this takes some time. Eventually, you'll be in a position where the keyboard will actually come out. As you can see, it really does not seem very well or very easy to put in and out. I'm going to have fun trying to put the new keyboard in there without bending it. That's it, you've extracted the keyboard. So these keyboards on eBay, the UK version seems to go for around £30, and not very many people sell them. And that's also the one which doesn't have the backlight. The ones with the backlight seem to go for about £80, maybe £90.